really need to keep the music playing. Welcome to another edition of DFS Picks through Monkey Knife Fight here on Fantasy Focus. I'm here with the entire crew, Ryan Levy with Matt Bucks. I'm Derek Tate, as we're breaking down our picks for the tilt in the AFC East between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins down there in South Beach. So, boys, it was a hell of a debut, and Bucky's got to be a pretty happy Bucky, because the Buffalo Bills absolutely dominated the New York Jets in week one. You called it. Bills damn near hit that 56-0 you were talking about there, Buck.
Yeah, they were on pace through one quarter, and I was quite pleased. And then things went a little bit haywire. Josh Allen did Josh Allen things, which is lead great drives into the red zone, fumbles the ball twice on running plays, and we're left with a shit sandwich. But we get another pretty good little T-ball matchup here. Bills 35-0.
What a cupcake schedule the Bills have to start the season, you know? Just love to see it.
Just take them where you get them.
So you want to say cupcake? I don't know if the Miami Dolphins defense is the shit unit that you guys remember from the start of last season, where they got, torched by Lamar Jackson and company. And I know that they looked rough, but I think Brian Flores has them playing much better football since the back half of last year, and I didn't think that they were that bad against New England and company. I know. So here's the thing. You can't play the touchdown dance game with quarterbacks, unfortunately, because if you could, I would be picking your boy Josh Allen all day long. I think he scores another rushing tutty, because Cam Newton actually put 2 in the end zone on the ground last week against this exact Dolphins unit. But when we're talking about, and by the way, if you haven't checked out monkeyknifefight.com, of course, go to their website, create an account, use the promo code FOCUS when you make your first deposit of $50 or more. Monkey Knife Fight will match it up to $50 in your account. But when we're talking about these DFS picks and specific contests, Levy, I know you mentioned in particular that you like the one rapid fire where you get 3 times your buy-in. You got to pick 2 out of 2. In these heads-up matchups, passing yards, Allen versus Ryan Fitzpatrick, and then receiving yards, 2 Buffalo Bills pass catchers in Stephon Diggs and John Brown. We'll start with the quarterback matchup between Allen and Fitzpatrick. How do you see this playing out as far as pure passing yardage totals go?
All right, I'll jump in here. I love rapid fire, for the record, because it's just, you got to get 2 out of 2 and you get 3 extra buy-in. So buy-in for $10, win 30. It's as easy as that, and you're just pitting 2 players against each other. In this case, what do we got here? 15.5 yards plus 15.5 for Ryan Fitzpatrick. He looked so bad against New England. And I just want to mention real quick, and I think New England's defense is pretty close in comparison to Buffalo. So I'm not expecting
a better secondary, but it's close.
Right. So I'm not expecting big things from Fitzmagic in week 2. But I do want to say, season-long leagues, go pick up Tua, because I think he's going to be starting by week 6 for this team. So go get him while you can. Get him while he's hot. So for this, I'm going to take Josh Allen here. I do think he has a good day here. And if you don't want to play this and you feel fantasy points are better, I do think Josh Allen has a huge game on the ground again. Look what Cam did last week. So, yeah, I'm still taking Josh Allen 15.5, even though I think the game script is not in the Bills' favor. I think they're going to be dominating this game.
Yeah, but the more and more that I kind of watch this Dable offense, Brian Dable, he's been doing a great job of making sure that this is Josh Allen's game. And Josh Allen's game is slinging that rock. He's got 3 very capable receivers. Dawson Knox needs to get more involved. He's got pass catchers in the backfield. Zach Moss with a touchdown week 1. I may have jumped the gun, Derek, by saying he was going to be a problem when he then finished with 9 carries and 11 yards. But besides all that, I just feel like the Bills are going to crush him 35-0. And if you got nothing, what is Fitzpatrick going to be doing? Fitzpatrick may be pulled within the first 3 quarters of this game.
I mean, we could. I think once you make that decision, though, to go to Tua Tagovailoa, you can't go back, because I just don't know if we're going to see him in week 2. I feel like you want Tua Tagovailoa. They obviously feel like he is not 100% ready, 100% healthy. They want to be cautious with a guy that they feel like is obviously the future of their franchise. So why rush him in to go his first matchup against the Buffalo Bills? There's a reason why they went with Fitzpatrick to start the season, because think about it, starting against New England and then against the Buffalo Bills, that is a gauntlet for any quarterback in the National Football League, much less a rookie with potential offensive line issues up front. So for me in particular, I don't think we'll see Tua this week, but even still, look, the Bills were dominating that football game against the New York Jets, and Josh Allen still threw for 312 yards through the air. And I thought he left some meat on the bone. I thought there was room for more tutties through the air, for more yardage through the air. Josh Allen, if he can just improve his
down
of his accuracy, you're right.
Calm down. If he can calm down, Tate, he will be unstoppable because the physical tools are all there. The wide open drag play with John Brown when he was scrambling left. I mean, that's inexcusable. That pass has to be made. There's nobody within 10 yards of John Brown. Just flick your wrist. Instead, it looks like he flicks his wrist, but his wrist is so powerful that it propelled the ball 15 feet above John Brown. So calm down, okay? Trust the fact that when a guy is wide open, you could just take it left-handed and shot put it over there. Just figure it out. And if he does that, it's going to be lethal. Look, Fitzpatrick, game script, blah, 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 whatever you want to say. Fine. There is a threat for that. However, I really think Bills top to bottom, from cornerbacks to safeties, have as much continuity as any club in the league. They truly have just this cohesive nature, the way that they swarm, they cover well, they tackle exceptionally well. It's going to be tough for the Dolphins to really penetrate this D. So for me, it's easy, Josh Allen. And Brian Dable, I think he's just this year, pop the hood. Let's see that Hemi engine in there and Josh Allen.
Let's go. Tate, by the way you say Tua's last name is just so elegant. It really gets me fired up, man.
Me too.
I'm waiting. I'm just waiting in the wings to be able to pull that out on a weekly basis from here to the end of his career. It's going to be great. Tua Tagovailoa. Anyway, so, but the one thing that I'll give the nod for Josh Allen in this particular matchup, even with Ryan Fitzpatrick getting 15 and a half yards, is the fact that we don't know if we're even going to see Devontae Parker. I mean,
right.
Like Preston Williams, I love Preston Williams for the rest of this year, but not this week if he's getting the Trey White treatment. No, thank you.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Stay away from Preston Williams this week. And same thing with, Mike Gesicki and, we're going to see Isaiah Ford maybe getting a slew of snaps for the Miami offense. That's not good when we're talking about over-unders for passing yardage for Ryan Fitzpatrick this week. But really, Bucky, I'm gonna lean to you on this. I know you're the resident Bills fan. We got Stephon Diggs versus John Brown receiving yardage, damn near a pick'em, but they do give John Brown 3.5 receiving yards. And if we're looking at what happened last week, John Brown only finished 16 yards behind Stephon Diggs, and there was with some meat left on the bone for John Brown. So both of them are facing kind of interesting matchups on the other side this upcoming week. Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. I don't think that this is a stronger cornerback unit than people like to give it credit for there in Miami. So who do you see finishing with more receiving yards between John Brown and Stephon Diggs?
I'm going Diggs here because I think Diggs finally gets that connect on a nice 60-yard play.
Yeah, I mean, Diggs had a good game last week. 8 for 86, 9 targets. I mean, I know John Brown had one more target than him, but no big deal. 3.5 yards just isn't enough to move the needle for me, so I'm going to go Diggs as well.
I'm with you, boys. I mean, even if I disagreed, it wouldn't have mattered because you guys both went with Diggs. But I thought I got to feel encouraged by the debut from Stephon Diggs. First week playing with a new quarterback, and it looked like they've been playing together for years. And clearly they were dialing up specific looks to get Stephon Diggs the football. I still think that that's going to be the case. And this offense is going to be showcasing Josh Allen like Bucky already mentioned. So let's go ahead. We're going the Bills stack of Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Now, again, before we do our 35 times your buy-in, pick them 6 for 6 more or less. Remember, go to monkeyknifefight.com, create an account if you have not yet done so. As we pull up the 6 for 6. Boys, Levy, did you hit on any of these 6 for 6 last week? I got a pair of them, and I'm feeling good.
I didn't tail them all, but you better bet your ass believe that I am playing all of them this week. I'm telling you on everything, Derek, because you got the hot hand. But I did hit the big touchdown dance, so that was good. And then I blew it all on Sunday Night Football. So, just a story of my life.
I got one of these. It's good. Just sprinkle them in $2.
I
If
know,
you play
right?
16 games, it's $32 with some serious return in the house.
Now I'll ask you guys because I don't see a more or less with just like receiving yardage and prop bets specifically in game. I only see the more or less for fantasy points going. Do you guys want to do the more or less for fantasy points for 6 for 6 35 times your buy-in? Or do you guys want to go with a more or less for like 20 times your buy-in right here?
I like this.
Yeah, let's go with this because
Okay.
the fantasy points, we're fantasy experts, but I just like the pure player prop.
I don't want to bet on things that aren't tangible. Like this is tangible. I can see this happening. Fantasy points on a different platform. If that's your thing, go for it. For Josh Allen, it's probably an advantage, but that's not for me. Let's stick with the old yardage.
We got my man G-Man in the house from Panama City, ESPN Radio. Thanks. I'm going to try to school you up, but we got two others to help, keep me grounded. We're doing a group schooling session, to say the least. But here we go. Let's lock this down. Bills, Josh Allen, 235 and a half passing yards. We got more or less. Bucky, I'm going to you, resident Bills fan.
It's more 35-0.
Yeah, this is easy for me. I'm on Josh Allen all day on the more.
I don't think it's quite as easy because I think the secondary in Miami is going to provide a little bit more resistance than the New York Jets did last week, but the possessions should be continuously coming with the Bills defense stifling the Miami offense, which means I'm down with the more for Josh Allen, and I'm going to go less on Ryan Fitzpatrick. Again, another tough matchup for this Miami offense without the services of Devontae Parker potentially on Sunday against a tough secondary there in Buffalo.
Yep.
On board 100%.
Tua comes in this game, so less.
So Stephon Diggs, 4.5 receptions. More or less.
More.
Pump it.
Bye.
But all right. And then we got Bucky, what are we to make of this rushing attack?
I don't know.
Singletary and Zach Moss pretty much went right down the middle. And of course, we saw a slew of carries for your boy Josh Allen. So Allen led the team in carries with 14, and then Moss and Singletary went 9 apiece. Singletary was the more efficient runner at 30 yards to Moss's 11. How do you see this playing out? I think it's a little bit better matchup on the ground, but we have no idea what the damn split is going to be as far as carries go out of this backfield, including Josh Allen in the mix.
I'm going more, and only because the Bills did make a decided effort to run the football last week, regardless of who did it. And Josh Allen fumbled it twice. Corral, harness that energy, Harness good, block bad. That's what I'm saying. If you want to get more out of Devin Singletary, you got to give him the rock. This is the one time I will say game script plays in Singletary's advantage. Singletary's a tough, scrappy runner. He does not break down at first contact. 55.5. I see Singletary running for 75 yards in this game.
Levy?
I'm on board. I am hesitant on this. It's just I was not impressed with the run game outside of Josh Allen last week. But you said they committed to it, and it's a better matchup this week. So I'm on board with this. I wish it was total yards because he looked pretty good in the pass game last week too, Singletary.
He looked all right. I mean, that's not exactly Josh Allen's game. Finesse passes to swing passes to your backs.
I'm on board with more though. Tater, thoughts?
Well, you guys already both went more. I mean, personally, I would probably go with the less.
Sell me, Tate. I'll change my mind.
Well, I'm not trying to. I could see a world where Devin Singletary pops a big run or two on even limited 10 to 12 carries or something of that nature, and he tops that 55.5 mark. So it's very attainable and reachable. But we saw Josh Allen lead this team in carries last week, and we saw what Cam Newton did on the ground as far as a mobile quarterback inside the 5 and just even extending drives. I just worry that there is a world where Zach Moss sees more carries than Devin Singletary. So if Singletary is sees somewhere between 8 to 10 carries, which is what I feel confident projecting him in, he's going to have to average like 6 yards a clip in order to hit that 55.5 mark. So even though game flow should be in their favor, do we feel confident in his rushing number total? I personally don't feel like I can, so that makes me want to go less. But, I get it. I understand that, Singletary is an explosive player and he can get it on one carry.
Well, let me play devil's advocate a little bit. You say game flow and all that. If the Bills are up a lot, don't you just feel like they should feed Zach Moss? He's more that type of back that can just ground and pound hardcore.
So can Singletary.
I just see him as more. I love Singletary. I have a lot of shares of him because I thought the value was good this year, but I just see him as more of an explosive, shifty player.
No, he's a scrappy between the tackles player. He'll benefit. Zach Moss was completely inefficient last week.
Yeah, he wasn't good.
So for me, it's Devin Singletary who's going to get the lion's share. I actually look for Singletary to have 14 carries, Derek.
All right, I'm going more. I'm going with the resident Bill fan.
All right. I'll roll with Buck. Let's roll. Let's circle the wagons, baby. Let's go.
Because look, we kind of drifted away from that type of mentality against the Jets, and the Jets crept back into the game. Right? We need to just stay the course, pound the rock, and I would love to see more option plays with Josh Allen. Goddamn, a counter option is just, it could be so successful. I don't understand why they don't run that 5 times a game.
Well, what you're projecting here, based on these prop bets, is you're projecting a complete blowout, which is fine because I think that the Bills are capable of blowing the Miami Dolphins off the football field. I do, and I think that Josh Allen is the real deal. But I'm just saying we got more receptions on Stephon Diggs. We got more rushing yards on Devin Singletary. We got more passing yards on Josh Allen.
Yes.
I'm just saying we got John Brown now. John Brown, Smokey is a big play away from hitting a 60-yard tutty. So do you see more receiving yards than 58.5?
Yes.
Oh, man, we're playing with fire here. Smokey Brown.
If we're pushing all our chips to the center here and Josh Allen is just going to dice up this Miami defense, then
one play, like you said, one play for Smokey Brown and he gets 60 yards.
Oh, boy. All right, Buck. But this is what I call it. This is the Buckey special. I normally save that for dropping that one right in the bucket during my highlights when I call on Newsnet Sports. But we got the Bills. Bucky's got the Bills Cup. We're rolling Bills heavy in this matchup for this tilt here on monkeyknifefight.com. So again, if you have not yet done so, this is the first time coming across our YouTube channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our fantasy football content for the rest of the 2020 NFL season. And again, one more reminder, go to monkeyknifefight.com. Just remember to use the promo code FOCUS when you make your first deposit. Till next time, everybody, good luck and later, says the Tater.
Goodbye, Derek.